Coach. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Just wrapped up player interviews here at Basile High School. Now I get to sit down with the head man himself, Coach Guillory. Thank you for the opportunity to sit down, learn about the program a little bit more from the inside. I always seen it on a Friday night, but that was a fun group I got to talk to right there. And I showed up a little early, watched a little practice, so football's near. And for you to open your doors today, it's an honor to be here.
Appreciate you.
Coach, let's jump right into it. That group just now. Describe that group going into the season and your thoughts about how they represented their program today.
I think they did a pretty good job. You see that they do like to have fun a little bit, but they are a close-knit group. We've preached leadership and team unity all off season, and it really seems like they're buying into that message, and they are putting forth a good example for the underclassmen. So at this point, I'm very proud of the effort they've done since last season and throughout the entire off season, the summer, and then now, a few days into fall camp. I like their leadership and their effort.
Yes, sir. For those out there that don't know who you are going into your second year here at Basile, introduce yourself, Coach. Why did you get into coaching back then?
Well, I got into coaching. I did a couple of collegiate strength coaching internships right at the end of college. I enjoyed, the weight room and coaching the players. I had an opportunity to be around some really high-level weight room guys, guys who worked with Olympians and things like that. And then that kind of led me into the path of being a high school football coach. Coach Paul Trosclair really kind of got me into it. I was doing some volunteer work with him back in, I think it was 2000. And he told me one day, he said, you need to do this. You need to be a coach. You need to be a teacher. Coach Mac Barus gave me my first opportunity. In high school, he had a job open. And then when I had a chance, I went back to Eunice. I stayed over there for 20 years, 19 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So with Coach Barus and Coach Trosclair, what were some things that you took from both programs that you wanted to implement here, Coach?
Well, it's the total program, and it's everything. It's a year-round thing. There is the off season. There's the weight room. There's the running program. I mean, it's really all year now. If you're not doing it all year, you're behind. Their philosophies of the intensity you have to bring. They also were great teachers. They could tell the kids why they're being taught this way, what we're trying to accomplish. And they were great people persons. They could read their team, they could motivate their team, they could motivate their coaches. I was real fortunate to be around two really, really good ones. But I spent more time with Coach Trosclair, so I probably borrow more from him than I do from Coach Barus. But both of them taught me a whole lot about being a head coach, about being a leader, and running a program the right way.
Yeah. Walk me through the process, the hiring process, and the decision. You felt like it was the right time in your career to make this jump?
Well, to be honest with you, it's a jump that I never saw myself making. I saw myself retiring at Eunice. I'm getting near the end. I can see the light of the tunnel anyway. This is a traditionally winning school. They don't change coaches a lot like Eunice was. They're very successful. They keep a head coach for a long time. They have a winning tradition. They have a great community support, just like Eunice does. And I thought I was going to be there at Eunice. My wife was working there at Eunice with me. But when this job popped open, I had a few people close to me say, you really need to look into it. And so my approach was, I'm going to look into it one step at a time, and I'm going to be myself the whole time. And so that, from the first conversation I had with Coach Tony Bertrand to the interview to it was just, let me just take the next step. And then when I got the offer, it wasn't an easy decision to make, but ultimately I made the decision to come here and move my family here, and we've been fortunate the way that this community has accepted us, and the team has bought into what my vision is, for the football team. So grateful for that.
How soon did you turn on the film, and what were some things that stood out to you that you liked?
Very aggressive. This is a tradition where they are taught for a long time to play hard, and then of course you have the incredible success they have in wrestling, which I always tell them when we're out there tackling, we should be the best tackling football team in the state, in 1A, because of how good we are in wrestling. Because there's definitely some carryover there. I really like the mental tenacity of the kids, and you have a lot of good kids here too. A lot of yes sir, no sir, and a lot of hard work going on. So those kind of things that was fun to see.
Last question for 2 years ago, that first player meeting, what did you tell them that day?
I think I told them that where I was from, what my major expectations were. Told them we were going to be a disciplined football team. I told them we were going to be a strong and conditioned football team, and that was the expectations. We were going to be an intense football team.
Year 2, over here at Basile, how do you take that next step, Coach?
Just keep doing the work. It's the day-to-day stuff. It's like I tell them, winning is a process, and everything that we do is important. From be it today, we had our athletic hour, and it's a walkthrough. Yesterday's athletic hour was a lift. So there's always something. We're never sitting and just saying we don't have anything to do today. Then in practice, there's an intention to practice plan, to what we're doing each period, and that might change day to day based on what happened the previous day. And you look at the practice film and say, well, we got to get better at this. We weren't too good at that, or you make adjustments as you go. So yeah, it's a constant process of what's the next thing that we got to do. Where are we a little bit weak? What do we have to fix?
Take me to a year ago, seeing the same team twice in 1 year. What problems does that bring? Also, your biggest takeaways from the night going into the off season.
Well, it's a good football team, and they're well coached, and they play double tight, which that's really hard to defend. Coach Trosclair used to say it should be illegal, but yeah, they were a good, hard-nosed football team. I mean, it was a back and forth. The second game was better than the first.
It's not often you see someone that close.
Yeah.
Week 8 to week 11.
Yeah, that close in terms of of course, the dates, but then that close in the distance. We didn't leave till after dark to go to that playoff game. Wow. It's the first time I ever left that late for a game, but it was 7-8 minutes away. I figured, why go over there and be distracted by something? Let's just stay here until it's time.
When guys leave from that night and they go on to play other sports because at a smaller school they are, how soon did you get back to work? Knowing that you might not see a lot of these guys for a while.
I gave them a week off.
Okay.
And when that week was up, we started our off-season program.
Okay. So whenever they do go on the basketball, no baseball here, basketball to wrestling to golf, everyone's still in the same weight program though, correct?
Still lifting weights.
Okay, good. What were some areas you wanted to attack this off season now that you did get a full off season with the group?
I wanted to really work hard on our ability to focus on the task at hand, and to make sure that we develop the focus and the discipline so that we don't do things that hurt our football team. I felt last year that we were not really good at sustaining drives, and sometimes that was because of the opponent, so you tip your hat to them. But there were times that you drive down, you get in the red zone, and you have a holding penalty. Now you're behind the sticks. You drive down, you jump offside, or false start. You do something that hurts you, and it's not the other teams. They didn't do it. You did it. I think if we can not do things like that, that's going to be a big step in the right direction. Not do things to beat ourselves.
Yeah. Take me to the spring game. You guys played Beauchamp, correct?
Yes.
What was your takeaways from the game? Also, What did you like about your group when they played against a bigger school?
My takeaways, I was impressed. I was happy that they didn't really push us around or run by us. And not to say that we pushed them around, but that we were competitive with a 4A football team.
Yeah.
That was a short game. But we were competitive with them. And I thought the off-season work that we did, both in the weight room and football-wise, was showing. The guys kind of knew where they were supposed to be, knew the expectation for the level of effort that they need to give. I saw some bright spots, and I was pleased with it. I think it was really productive for us to have the off-season that we had, the spring that we had, the summer. I think we are farther along than we were last year at this time.
Yeah.
And that's not saying anything negative of the group last year. It's just I wasn't here that long. It was a different. They didn't have time to go through a whole year of what I wanted to do.
With the summer wrapping up, what was the biggest emphasis, Coach?
We had to get stronger in the weight room. We had to get bigger and stronger, more explosive. So we that was the priority. We still had our 1 day a week where we did a football day, but we did a little 7-on-7 with Eunice. That was the only one we did, and we did 7-on-7 work in preparation for that. But so the main emphasis was, though, can we get those younger guys bigger and stronger? Because we have a lot of young guys having to step into starting roles now.
As you look back at the summer, did this group win the summer?
I felt we did. We had good attendance. We had some good leadership in there. We had excellent work, intensity, and then I saw the gains. I saw the weights moving up, and guys getting heavier, getting bigger,
Upcoming scrimmage, Jamboree. Talk to me about what do you want to see from your team that day?
I'd like to see us come out in the scrimmage and first opportunity to hit somebody else. I'd like to see us perform well. I'd like to be able to go look at that film and make the corrections, and hopefully there's a jump from that scrimmage to that Jamboree. And yeah.
Biggest question mark going into the season, what is it?
Well, we got some guys to replace. We lost some good players from last year. The senior group has some really good players, so we have to replace those guys with some younger guys that are showing promise. But until those lights are turned on, we don't know what's going to happen. And so it's just cautious optimism. Working hard, but cautiously optimistic.
Coach, what about at this time we introduce your 2025 coaching staff?
Okay. So my offensive coordinator is Ben Bertrand. He was offensive coordinator last year. He's doing a great job for us. Defensive coordinators, Jamie Smith. He coached with me in Eunice. He brings over 30 years of coaching experience, and I got him out of retirement to come and be with us here, and he's already making an impact. Coach Chad LaFleur is our athletic director. He's also the special teams coordinator. He does a really good job with the special teams. He's a swing and gate guru. And then we have Coach Brian McCoy, coaches the defensive line and offensive line. He's got a lot of coaching experience as well. He's a former defensive coordinator. He brings a whole lot to us. And then, of course, we've got Coach Sam Bacon. Sam does a great job with the defensive backs and the split ends. And I think Sam's the one who arranged this meeting here with us. So I have a really good staff, very fortunate. Making sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I got Ben, Chad, Jamie, Sam, McCoy. That's 5. So I got them all.
There you go. What aspects do you look for when assembling a staff, Coach?
Well, it's you want to bring somebody that, Coach Trosclair used to always tell me, the job of the assistant coaches is to make the head coach's job a little bit easier. If you have guys you can trust, you don't have to feel like you have to have your hand on everything, and I'm fortunate I have that with Coach Ben Bertrand and Coach Jamie Smith, that when they call them, I don't tell them what to call at practice, when we're doing like today, we did an inside run period, I just said, this is how many plays we're going to do on offense, and this is how many plays we're going to do on defense. And they picked the formations and the plays they wanted to run. We filmed it, and we're going to watch that film, and we're going to make corrections from there. So it really helps when you can trust the guys you have. And assembling a staff in high school is really challenging. It's not like college where a head coach gets a job and he can come in and fire a staff. You don't do that. You can't do that. But it's very fortunate for me that I took over at a 1A school that had a staff of 5 guys who all could coach. Yeah. And then this year I was able to bring in another guy who could coach. So that's a real fortunate situation. And not all small schools have that situation. They might have 2 guys coaching, and 3 guys, and that makes it a challenge.
On the practice field, would you rather high intensity reps or longer teaching periods?
Well, we get both. We
Yeah.
get both, but I like to set a timer for a period and tell them I want as many quality reps as we can get during that period. But then I always ask the coaches when the timer goes off, how much more time do we need so that it's right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you go to do a high intensity drill, and if the kid's not doing it properly, and you just keep pushing intensity, what are you accomplishing? And it's like being in the weight room and you don't know how to do a certain exercise, and you're just hollering at the kid to go harder. Well, he doesn't understand it yet. So there are some times where you have to back up and teach, and then once you feel like they have it, then I think you need those high intensity game speed reps.
Okay. What's one area of execution that this team has to improve on to flip those close games?
Like I said earlier, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot. We can't have an untimely turnover, holding penalty, fumbled snap, false start. We can't have a personal foul on defense and give the other team a first down. Those kind of things. Those are the things, like I said earlier, those are things that you beat yourself with.
Yeah. Seems like you have a really good feeder program, junior high program here that has guys ready to step in and play early whenever they do get to the high school level.
Yeah. Coach Crow's our junior high coach. He's been here, I think, 20 years, and he does a really good job with those junior high guys.
Okay. And a lot of those guys that were in junior high last year might see the field this year, right?
They very well could.
Yeah.
They very well could.
Are you a big multi-sport guy?
As terms of the players should, yes.
Yeah.
I don't believe in specializing. I think that the more sports you play, that's the more you're learning more physical skills. And you also have a less chance, I believe, of overuse injury.
Your ideal tempo of a game, what is it?
Me? I like to run the football, shorten the game, play great defense.
Yeah.
To me, that's the right tempo.
Yeah. Why is body language so important?
That usually tells the truth. So if a kid has bad body language on the field, that's going to be contagious to his teammates. And it's not only what you say to the team, but how you're acting, They're always looking to their coaches, who are their leaders, or they're looking to the senior leaders or whoever the leader. And if the leader has bad body language, it's going to trickle down.
Any upgrades to mention? Fundraisers wrapped up or still going on? Maybe a booster club you'd like to mention?
We really upgraded the weight room.
Okay.
Really renovated it. We have a lot of stuff we took out. We added a lot of stuff over the course of the year. They're allowing me to invest a lot of money into the program. We bought a chute that was pretty expensive over the summer, a new sled. So we have a lot of support here. Very, very fortunate. The Booster Club, they really help us. Meals, they're always asking what they can help with. They're really supportive of us and all the programs. So
Yeah.
we're very fortunate.
Okay. Let's go to your quarterback position. You graduated a good one a year ago. Now you have a sophomore that steps in that did get some reps a year ago. Talk to me about what have you seen from him this offseason.
He's very motivated, works very hard. He's got some athleticism to him. He's quick, he's agile, he runs well, throws the ball pretty well, and he can make things happen. And he's a confident kid. Sometimes he's a little too confident. He'll throw it. He'll take a chance, But he's not scared. He's not timid, and I think he's got a chance to be a good quarterback for us this year.
Your running back room, Coach. I asked the guys earlier, and I want to get your perspective on them. And how much have you seen that room grow from the off season till now?
It's probably our deepest group all the way around. So we're returning 2 starters back there. So Pearson Como and Kai Smith. Logan Badron stepping in as the new starting halfback, replacing Brian Hardy from a year ago. But we also have some other guys that are rotating in that show a lot of promise. Landon East is, he didn't play a lot of football. I think last year was his first year playing. But he's 190 pounds, and I tell him he's the second fastest guy on the team. He gets mad at me. He says he's the first. Because the other Landon Fontenot, is a track guy. He's also very fast. So we're trying to look for creative ways to work those guys into the rotation. They don't know the offense as well as the starters do yet. But you're talking about 2 guys that can really run. You find a way to work them in and teach them the offense, So there's some good guys back there. Alex Palacio, the sophomore, he's going to get some reps back there. So we have it's one of our deepest position groups.
Okay. I tried to ask the guys earlier about the receiver room when it comes to the mental side of the game. Can you elaborate more on it whenever it goes to being ready for when your time does come, and you have to do all the little things to get there?
Yeah. Well, like they said, we don't throw it as much as we run it. We do throw it, I think, more than they said. I think they said we throw it 90% of the time. We're probably not that much run heavy, but you're going to have to be able to block.
Yeah.
That's a big part of the receiver position in our offense. And but we got a pretty good room. So you had 2 of them here, Austin Ashford and Sage Smith. Marcus Evans is another one. You also had Nate Oakland, who's really improved a lot. And so that's 4 guys right there that we can put out at the receiver position. I don't think I'm missing anybody like that, for Friday night, but we just still have some talented guys too that are on the JV level right now. And they're out there at practice and getting better, and getting praise from the coaches because they're doing everything they're asked to do. So, it's a good group. It's a good group too. Maybe not as deep as the running backs, but it's deep.
Okay. The offensive line, we spoke. 2 seniors on the group, got some guys to replace. What was more the route you wanted to take with the new guys up front? Was it more of we need to get stronger, we needed to get better up here? What was the route that you wanted to take, knowing that you had to plug in some new faces?
Well, it was a combination. Definitely, like I told you, we took a week off when we started the off season from last year, and then it was in February. So we started making sure we were doing some football-related stuff, and then we just increased that as we got closer and closer to spring, to where we were doing about half and half in the weight room, half football stuff to try to teach them, to have that off season to teach them things, and then of course we did continue that throughout the spring, and then of course in the summer. So it's a combination because definitely we got to address that they're younger guys and they got to be bigger and stronger, but they don't know what their blocking assignments are. It doesn't really help to be bigger and stronger. So it was a combination.
And I'm sure they spent a lot of days on that new chute and that new sled.
Yeah, it's 2 of our favorite pieces.
Take me to the other side of the football. How's those conversations been like with the defensive staff? What should we expect from that group?
I think we have a chance to be pretty good on defense. We're returning some guys, and the guys that are stepping up to replace this kind of similar thing that I think that they're going to be ready to go. You know, cautiously optimistic what's going to happen when those lights come on. But I think we have a chance to have a good defense. The defensive staff is working together really, really well. The defensive side of the ball was my background. I got Coach Jamie Smith here to call the defense for us. Coach Brian McCoy has been the defensive coordinator as well, and so we have his input. He's coaching the D-line. And then Coach Sam Bacon, like I said, he's doing an outstanding job back there with the defensive backs and corners. And then Coach Chad's got the strong safeties, and he's been coaching for 30 years too. So that's a lot of people with some good experience putting their heads together, you know, to try to come up with a winning combination, if you will. And then, of course, with all of that, the constant preaching of it's the physicality of your play, it's the intensity of your play. I tell them all the time, it don't matter what we draw up on defense. If you don't play physical, you don't play fast, you don't play hard, that doesn't matter.
Got to see a little bit of practice today, and was very impressed with how your linebackers were going sideline to sideline. So that's a good group, isn't it?
It is, and both returning starters. Coach Smith has them now. He's the defensive coordinator, inside linebackers coach, and we spent a lot of time with them. He's very detail-oriented. When I was the defensive coordinator at Eunice, he coached the inside linebackers, and a couple of years he coached the strong safeties. So we have a history together, and we know the defense and how it should look, how we want to run it. And the defense coach Brian McCoy ran here for years is very, very similar. So you know, that's three guys that have coordinated experience working together.
To the third phase of the game, special teams. Talk to me about that group. Could it be a weapon moving forward this year?
It could be. Like I said, Coach, we do have a little swinging gate package that we do. We work hard on special teams. Coach Chad LaFleur, and then Coach McCoy and Coach Sam Bacon, they're doing a really, really good job. All those guys helping out on special teams. First thing, though, you know, we got to possess the ball. We can't have mistakes on special teams. Can't have a big return. You know, that'll blow a game open for you. So, but I think our special teams, we got a chance to be okay on special teams too.
How do you emphasize finishing blocks and playing through the whistle?
Well, it's whistle to whistle. You know, if you're not, we tell them sometimes, you know, if you want to watch, buy a ticket. But if you're blocking, you should be blocking. You shouldn't see where the running back's going. You know, you should stay blocking until the play's over.
How do we become the most physical player on the field, but also you still have to be the smart one?
Well, it's a physical game, so I tell them you play as hard as you can within the rules. You know, we don't want a penalty, but it's a physical game. It's a game where you're allowed to hit people.
Yeah.
You know, very, very physical. So we preach physicality. We want them to play as hard as they can, pad level low, driving your legs. I mean, all that. We preach all that.
Do you build your scheme around your players or make players fit your system?
Well, you move the pieces where you need them, but we have our system that we have. The wing T offense allows for smaller linemen and smaller backs to be successful. It's a good offense, you know, in high school. Our 3-4 and our 4-2-5 defense too. You can adapt your players. You can move them. You can find spots for them. I mentioned Landon East earlier. We're looking so hard for a position for him because even though he hasn't played a lot of football, he's one of the best athletes on the team. So he has practiced already at corner, strong safety, linebacker, defensive line, and running back. He's practiced at all those positions in this short fall camp.
Yeah.
We kind of figure we know where he's at now, where he's going to be, but you got to kind of find where your pieces fit. You know.
Would he fit under this role here? Describe an unsung hero and who could take on that role this year.
I don't know yet. It's too early. Too early. He's doing good right now, but I don't know that yet. Unsung hero. Oof. I really don't know the answer to that one.
Okay. Do you believe your players better understand the X's and O's better now going into year 2?
I think they understand what I'm doing better.
Mm-hmm.
I think they understood, the previous programs, X's and O's too. I think the programs had success. They've always had people that knew football here and they coach football well. But I think they're more accustomed to me and my expectations. I think they're more accustomed to some of the terminology changes, things like that. So yeah, I definitely think the doing the whole year now, that whole off season, they're further along in that regard. What we want to do on offense and defense.
How do you measure success beyond just what a scoreboard says?
Well, it's like I said at the end of the Elton game last year. I mean, the other team gets a vote, and it's really what it's about. I mean, who likes to play a team that you're going to just demolish, right? That's not a lot of fun. It's about being competitive. So you play a real hard-fought, tight game, but if you do everything within your power, well, then you can hold your head up. You did what you could do, what you could control. You let the chips fall where they may. That's how I judge success. They referenced the Hamilton game, and Hamilton beat us. They did. But they said it was one of the funnest games they played in last year, and they've told me it was because nobody quit.
Yeah.
Well, that's a game where you can point to some success. I mean, we made a few mistakes that if we hadn't made it, maybe it could have been closer. I don't know if we could have beat Hamilton. They were very talented and well coached. But I think we'd have had a better chance without a couple of the mistakes we made early. But they never quit, and they played hard, and we, as a staff, were very proud of them after the game. I thought it was a step in the right direction. And then we played the next week against Elton in the playoffs. We played them better than we had in week 8. So I felt like the team was getting better, especially at playing hard, not quitting, less mistakes, fewer mistakes, shooting us in the foot.
What small details in preparation matter the most when it goes into a Friday night?
I like the routine. I like the routine to stay the same no matter what. That's a big part of the mental preparation. We're going to do it if we can. It's hard sometimes when you travel, but if we can, we're going to try to do it the same way every time. There's going to be a time where we eat. There's going to be a time where we move to the den together. There's going to be a time where we tape and get dressed. And then there's a time when it's time to focus and lights out. And there'll be a time when we come together before we go out and kind of get it cranked up, if you will. And then, so it's the same. So they know, they expect it's going to be the same every week.
What's the most difficult thing you had to overcome a year ago?
I guess the first year head coach, there's a lot of things that go into being a head coach that are not just X's and O's related. They're not just player related. There's a lot of things that you have to do, and you're responsible for everything. So it's there's a big learning curve there. I tell people it's kind of like drinking out of a fire hydrant. So, but I guess the non-X's and O's stuff was probably the.
What's the most important thing a team has to do in the beginning of a game?
Set the tone. Set the tone. We tell them when you go down on special teams, you set the tone for the game right there. First series on offense and defense, it's important. First series coming out of half, it's important.
Take me to halftime, your approach going in. Are you more of a technical changes, emotional reset? What do you like at halftime?
Whatever it takes. Sometimes you need that emotional reset. I like how you put that. Then there are other times where it's a technical conversation with your staff. It's, guys, what are they hurting us with? How do we stop it? Why are our offenses maybe bogging down? Now we look back at iPads. We can look through the series and see, let's fix this, let's fix that. Now we got to play. On defense, we make this little adjustment here. They're not going to have the same success with that play. So, that's the technical side of it, the strategic side of it. But then there are times where, kids are not playing up to their ability, and you've got to find a way to get them up to their ability, to get them in the right mindset.
Yeah. What do you look for in your leaders in those final minutes?
They need to show the way. They need to show. You lead by example first, and then you can be a vocal leader. That's the expectation.
How much freedom does your players have to make adjustments on the field?
Well, we kind of give them what the checks are going to be. If we call this defense, but they come out in this formation, we need check base. So they know there's going to be some checks. There's going to be some automatics. A certain formation comes, they have to recognize that and get into an automatic blitz or defensive front that we have called for that based on what we saw on film. So, but they have latitude to do checks and call automatics and things like that.
Coach, what does a prepared team look like beyond just knowing what the plays are on a Friday night?
They can finish the game. Don't get themselves beat. It's a 4-quarter game. A lot can happen, and you can trail the whole game. You can win in the 4th quarter. You got to be able to finish.
Coach, you've seen both sides of this in your career. Peaking too early and playing your best ball late. Talk to me about that.
At Eunice, Coach Trosclair was always really good about making sure that we were playing our best ball district and then into the playoffs. Like I talked about, finding where your pieces go. There are some times where your people are still maybe auditioning, moving to a new position. You're trying to fit them in to help your scheme the best way you can. But usually by district, you should be playing your best ball and improving, and then hopefully you're red hot in the playoffs. That was always kind of what I was taught.
How rewarding is it when it clicks for a player on a Friday night?
It's fun. It's partly why we do what we do. They don't pay us a whole lot of money to do this, so it's when you can see a kid, the light bulb comes on, he's doing it right the way you coached it, he's playing it hard, he's having success. There's a lot of fun to that. It's gratifying.
What's the key to winning on 3rd down and getting off the field on 3rd down?
Well, you're going to have situational awareness. If it's a passing situation, you need to know where the sticks are. You need to know too from film study what do they like to do in that situation. So maybe you can kind of anticipate. In terms on offense, hopefully you're not in a 3rd and long situation, so you have more of a selection of plays to call. But you do need to have a couple of long yardage plays, and my offensive coordinator does a good job of that. He makes a call sheet, and he has it broken down by the series we run on offense, short yardage, long yardage. So situational awareness, situational football too, is big.
What are your core principles on offense and defense?
Lining up properly, knowing what your assignment is, and executing your assignment as physically as you possibly can.
Okay.
In a nutshell. I believe in being physical.
Yes, sir. Win, lose, or draw was something you're always going to tell your kids afterwards.
Well, always to hold your head up high, especially if like we said earlier, if you played with great effort, and great intensity, and the chips just didn't fall your way, you lost a high school football game. It's not the end of the world. We're competitive. We don't want to lose. Nobody wants to lose. But it doesn't need to be. I don't ever believe in hammering somebody when they're down. I think that you hold your head up. Hold your head up and have character about yourself.
Take me to the night. Describe your first win as a head football coach.
It was kind of a relief because I got the first loss out the way first week, so I got the first win out the way the second week, and it kind of like took the pressure off a little bit because I don't know. I guess I knew I wasn't going 0-10 at that point,
Yeah.
So.
And it was a crazy 2 weeks.
Yeah.
With the storms and everything.
Yeah, you're right.
So I got to be there and experience it and talk to you afterwards. So congratulations
Thank you.
again.
Thank you.
How about we talk about your relationship with Coach Trosclair real quick, if you can say a few words for me.
Well, he's very important to my career as a football coach. Like I said earlier, he got me into it, but there's so much more than that. He's been a friend and mentor the whole time. I called him today on the way here. I want to ask him about a scheme that we're trying to do. So yeah, he was very, very important to me as a mentor, but also a friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, it huge impact on my career, my life.
The 2018 state title win, describe that moment.
It's pretty nice. We always say when we look back on it, it felt like everything that had to take place that season took place. It's like everything just fit like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Whether it was going to Walsman the second round and winning 13-12, a defensive battle. And I think we had three goal line stands to win the game. So the defense did really well that week. But then the next week, the offense scored 50 points, in the quarters. And then in the semis, we were getting ready to play Kaplan, and they were steamrolling everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we shut them out, 19-0. And that was pretty unbelievable. And then the next week, we scored 59 in the Dome. So my defense gave up 0 against Kaplan, and then Sterlington, they hung 47 on us. So that was wild. But it was like the offense would step up when they needed to, and the defense would step up when they needed to. It was an awesome experience, awesome run.
What a season. How important is it to you for your players to know you see them as people and not just athletes?
Oh, it's important. You have to have that relationship with them. They see right through it. If you don't care about them, they know. So you have to care about them. You have to have a relationship. I think they kind of alluded to that we'll cut up with them and stuff, but then when it's time, we say, okay, it's time to focus. It's time to lock back in. But yeah, you got to have a relationship with your players.
Do you celebrate small wins, keep morale high and focus high, or something that you don't do here?
I know I was getting hoarse today out there, cheering on JV receivers for running great routes and catching the ball with their hands.
Yeah. Okay. Your favorite part of a Friday night, before, during, or after?
I like it all. I guess it's the biggest relief when it's over and you were successful. You kind of have a little bit of breathing room. You get together with the coaches in the den, the players, talk about some of the plays that took place. The players leave, coaches hang around. We cut up and talk about what a good night it was, and and then you're back to work the next day. But yeah, that's probably the best is that we were successful feeling.
What lessons do you hope your players take with them long after the pads come off?
That like I tell them all the time, the guys the play that matters the most is the play that you're on, and that's really, if you think about it, that Coach Saban calls that the process. But that's kind of like a microcosm of life, right? Because like I tell them all the time, so guys, if you're worried about the play that just happened or the play that's going to happen later, then the play you own's not going to go the right way. But life is like that. If I have a bad day at work and I go home and I'm ugly to my wife and my kids, well, it's not a good thing. You got to be able to focus on what you're doing. And I think that's the most important thing, is they learn that the most important thing is what I'm doing right now.
What's the most rewarding part of coaching high school football?
Feeling like you mentor young men and you have you maybe make a difference in their life.
What are you most excited for this year, and what are you most proud of from this year's group?
I'm excited to see. Excited to see the efforts we put forth in the off season come to fruition and have some success. See those young guys stepping up into their roles and having success. And what was the last part of the question?
What are you most proud of from this year's group so far?
There has been a great, they have done a great job taking the expectations that have been set forth about attitude and discipline and hard work, teamwork, being positive with your teammates rather than negative, and they've really bought into that and done a good job of, from the top down, working on that. You know, it's very seldom that we have to tell somebody to stop saying something derogatory to a teammate. You know, they're doing a very good job of working hard to meet those expectations that have been set.
Okay. What is the message to the alumni, to the community as we get ready for another football season?
So grateful for their support, their tradition. Come out and continue to support us. And we're going to do everything that we can to be successful and entertaining on Friday night. And then, you know, they're appreciated because, like you stated earlier, these kids, they're looking up to their brothers and their uncles. The tradition is huge. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a big thing at Eunice. It's a big thing here. I really believe it helps a program for the kids. They have something to live up to. There were people that came before them that did it right, and now they know I got to fill those shoes. I got to meet that expectation, you know. And I think that's big. That's big.
Coach, close us out today with the quote of the day.
Quote of the day. Oof. I didn't read that one on the cheat list you gave me. I'd be better prepared. Quote of the day, I guess, you know, do your best and let the chips fall where they may. I'm going to mess it up if I try to do the whole thing, but there's a quote. I think it was, I'm going to mess it up who did it, but basically it's the warrior that matters, the guy in the arena, not the critic. You know, it's the guy who's actually in the battle that matters. Because he's the one actually taking all the risk.
Yeah. Coach, final words as we get ready to close this one out.
Appreciate you coming and giving our kids some spotlight time, and hopefully all this hard work that we're doing continues and it leads us to a successful season.
Yes, sir. Coach, thank you for the opportunity. Good luck this year, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see you in the fall.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, Coach.
Thank you.